Hello there, welcome back. Today we're going to have a look at generation of electricity. This is key area 1. And we're going to have a look at how we produce electrical energy and some of the difficulties involved in doing that. So first of all, what is energy? It's a difficult one, and this is a kind of definition from Wikipedia. In physics, energy is an indirectly observed quantity. It's often understood as the ability a physical system has to do work on other physical systems. Okay, so it's to do with this thing called work. So doing work on things. Energy can be in many forms, including electrical, heat, light, sound, chemical, kinetic, potential, and nuclear. And energy can change from any one of these forms into any other. But some energy changes are easier than others, as we shall see. So let's start off talking about electrical energy and why that's so important. It's useful because it can be converted into other types of energy actually quite easily. That's why it's really useful, and it's also able to be transferred from one place to another. But to generate enough electrical energy for all of our needs, we need to make sure we can provide a source of energy that's going to meet those needs. Coal, oil and gas are all natural sources that we have been able to use for many years, and they've got lots and lots of positives with them, lots of energy. Fossil fuels as energy sources and some of the advantages and disadvantages. So coal, oil and gas contain huge amounts of chemical energy, and this chemical energy can be converted into heat simply by burning it. The heat energy is used to produce high pressure steam, and the steam can be used to turn massive turbines, which have obviously kinetic energy. The turbines turn generators that produce the electrical energy. So we use coal, oil and gas because they've got a huge amount of energy available, which is really, really useful. We need lots of energy because our energy demands are immense and getting bigger, in fact. So here's a kind of schematic of how we produce electrical energy at the moment using a traditional coal, oil or gas fuel source. So here we've got the coal or oil or gas, whatever it might be, burning away. That produces lots of heat, and we use it to boil water. The water, when it's boiling, turns into steam, and steam has high pressure. It's in a containment vessel, and it's high pressure steam flowing along a pipe, and it hits the turbine blade. And you can think about this as a big wind turbine that you see maybe at Whiteley, for example, where they've got huge wind turbines where the wind makes them blow. Well, this does the same with the steam. That's because it's high pressure steam. You can turn at quite high speeds here. Now after it's been through the turbine, it's low pressure and it starts to have a cool down, and in the condenser it turns back into water again. And then it goes back in and the whole process goes round and round and round. Now after the turbine turns, it goes to the generator, which obviously makes the electricity. We don't need to concern ourselves with the details of what's going on with that. This is just a general overview. So burning stuff, boiling water, make steam, turn a turbine, and the rest, as I say, it just goes round and round in a circle. So what's the problem? Well, fossil fuels take millions of years to form. Millions. And in fact, we've been using coal and oil and gas that was laid down way before the dinosaurs were even on the planet. Once we use this fuel, it's gone forever. So it's been on the planet for such a long time, and we're going to use it up. It'll be gone. One of the things about burning fossil fuels is it causes pollution, different types of pollution depending on the type of situation, but it causes pollution to the air, and it also causes greenhouse gases. Burning fossil fuels adds to the greenhouse effect, causing global warming. And that will cause things like sea levels to rise, weather patterns will change, and animals and plants simply can't adapt quickly enough to cope. It's already getting harder to find new sources of fossil fuels because it's getting harder and harder to find it. Prices are going up. It's getting more and more expensive every single day. Now, our energy demands are increasing as well. We need more electricity for all the things that we love to do, and we just can't keep doing this. It's not sustainable. So we need alternatives. We have to look at ways of producing electricity that meet our demands. but do it in a way that's less harmful to the environment. So we need to find a solution that is sustainable, reliable, can meet high demand. It should be pollution free, and it should have no greenhouse gases. It should also, of course, be safe for anyone in the area, and it ideally shouldn't be an eyesore. It should be something that does not everyone go, oh, that's horrible, let's not have it in my backyard or my neighbourhood. So wind energy has been used for quite a long time, and in our area we've got quite a few. Most wind turbines are quite easy to spot. They're huge, massive structures. One turbine alone can supply enough energy for around about 1,000 homes when it's running at full speed. They don't cause any pollution when they're running, and they don't give off any greenhouse gases, which is really good. And they're also never going to run out. It's said to be renewable, because they run on whenever it's windy, and it's always going to, you can use up the wind, it's going to be there day in, day out. It's not always windy, however, so therefore it's not reliable. You can't depend on it day in, day out, 24 hours a day. And some people would consider it unsightly. Some people think they're quite good looking and they'll add interest to the views, but everybody's got a different opinion. So here's some facts and figures and things on a turbine. I put this picture up at Whiteley Wind Farm. It says the total height is 110 metres, and the rotor diameter is 93 metres, and the maximum speed of a blade tip is 240 kilometres per hour, that's 160 miles per hour, and the maximum output 2.3 megawatts, enough to power over 1,000 homes. So that's pretty good, and you can see the pictures there, they're quite big structures. Now, when you look at this scene, I took this picture a few years back now, I don't know if I would consider that an eyesore or not. I quite like it, I think it's quite interesting, but some people would say, well, it's spoiling the natural beauty of the countryside, and I get their point, I suppose, but I like it, I think it's okay. It adds interest to the skyline. I don't know about you, but I thought that was a pretty nice sort of scene. I quite liked it, but everybody's got their own opinion on these things. So, they're big, they're huge, they certainly dominate the landscape, and there's no denying that. If you like the natural countryside, yes, I can see it's going to have an impact on that. They're not perfect. They do go wrong. One is broken. It broke possibly during a thunderstorm. They're not sure what happened. I spoke to the engineers and said they didn't know. These blades are massive. They're huge. If you've ever been to Whiteley Wind Farm, you'll know that near the visitor centre there is a blade situated there, and you can see the size of it. Now this thing obviously came down. It happened at night when there was nobody nearby, but it could have been quite a dangerous thing. Now you see the trees. These are full-size trees below it, you know. These things are really, really big. So, hydroelectric power stations. Hydro is water, okay, and they are again renewable, they are clean, they are reliable. But you need to flood a valley of, the countryside. You have to take this whole nice area and flood it full of water, and you've got to build a big, huge dam, and it's very expensive to build. Now, there's a limited number of suitable sites. Now, Scotland, luckily, has quite a few really suitable sites. We are using hydro quite a lot in this country. We've got lots of hills, therefore there's lots of valleys between the hills. We've got lots of rain in Scotland, so we're quite lucky again. But it's not suitable for other countries. Some countries are very flat. Some countries are very dry. So it's, again, depends on the type of country that you're in. Solar power, again, it's renewable, which is great. It's clean. It doesn't give off any gases. It's not reliable though, especially in Scotland, because of course, well, it doesn't. The sun doesn't shine here every single day, and it certainly doesn't shine at night. There's limited suitable sites because you need a really large area to collect enough solar energy or light from the sun to power towns and cities. And it can be expensive. Now, the price of solar panels is going down. It will get cheaper in the future. So maybe this is a future, but right now it's still expensive. It's more expensive to generate electricity using these methods than it is to use coal and oil and gas. Now here is a photo I took of one of the hydropower stations on the banks of Loch Lomond. It's a Sloy power station. Now here you can see there's 4 pipelines coming down from the mountains, and up the back, which you can't see, there's a dam built in a valley between the tops of the mountains, and the water runs down here, gaining speed as it flows down the hillside and goes into this massive big building. Now, just to put this into perspective, the size of this is probably quite difficult to get your head around. There's a standard hand railing. This sort of fence is probably 6 foot or more. This is a really tall building, and all this water, 4 pipes come down, and inside here there are 4 massive turbines. When the water hits it, causes the spin, produces electricity, and uses wires, and it distributes it around the country. So some people would say that's quite, you spoil the countryside. It's a nice countryside area on the banks of Loch Lomond, and I get that. Yep. In the corner, which most people don't see, there is a whole bunch of substations and electrical wires and all sorts of things. I have no idea even what these are. But again, does it spoil the natural beauty of the countryside? Well, possibly yes. There's lots of people who love to walk about in the countryside in Scotland. It's one of the attractions of the countryside. So, up in the mountains then, took a wee walk up, and as you can see, there's the dam. And it's a huge, huge structure. Now, it's difficult again to get your head around this. So this is like a road. This is a big barn. And here, along the top, you could drive a car along there. It's that big. It's a big structure. Many thousands of tons of concrete. So water gets stored up here, and you can see the water levels went down a wee bit from its maximum height, and it can get regulated depending on how much rainfall we have. But it's a reservoir. It's a holding area for water, and the water can then go down through the pipes when you need it. Some people say that it spoils the natural beauty. Now, my brother here, he spoils the natural beauty a lot more than. No, that's cruel. Don't say that. That's nasty. Look, is the natural beauty of the countryside being spoiled by the power station, by the overhead lines, by that dam, or is it just deal with it and get on with it? I don't know. There's no easy solution here. Personally, I don't have a big problem with it. I understand we need to make electricity, but there's people who would like the countryside to be left alone. So we've got wave energy next. Now, wave energy is also renewable. It's clean. It's got limited suitable sites, and it's unreliable, and it's expensive. You remember, waves come in, and when a wave hits you, it's got energy, it can knock you over. So we can harness the power of the waves. The same with the tide. The tide comes in and out twice a day. Again, it's renewable, it's clean. There's limited suitable sites, and it is reliable, but it's not constant with the tide, because the tide doesn't keep moving all the time. It's only coming in and out, as I said, twice a day. And it's expensive. So these are all expensive. I don't think they're really proper solutions. There have been tests around Scotland, around Britain, and there's some limited success, but there's problems with waves and tides because water has enormous energy. When you get storms, huge waves can come along and it can cause damage. Sometimes there's relatively flat calm, so it's not perfect. It really isn't easy to use anything from the oceans because of the unpredictable nature of the sea. So here's an example of one way you can generate electricity using wave power, the Biomass system, and it's basically like a whole long series of link sausages, They're linked together, and these bob up and down on the waves, and that motion of bobbing up and down on the ocean is what generates the electrical energy. Inside there's a mechanism. When you have a movement, you can produce electricity. So there's a problem here as well. If you want to produce lots of energy, you're going to have lots and lots of these systems all around the coastline. That's going to have a negative effect on the water, the fishing and coastline and travel in the oceans. It's an issue. It's not perfect again. So geothermal is another one that can be used in some places. It's renewable, it's reliable, it's clean. Again, there's limited suitable sites, and it can be expensive. Now, limited suitable sites, because geothermal is using the heat that's below the surface of the ground, deep underground, very deep, you get to the molten rocks. Very, very hot. Now, the closer you get to that, the hotter the rocks are. So you don't have to go down anywhere as close as that, but under the ground it is warmer. So we can use the heat from those hot rocks to generate electrical energy. One of the problems is trying to get down to the area where the rocks are hot. It becomes very expensive to drill down that deep. So a suitable site would be an area where the hotter rocks are closer to the surface. In other words, we want an area where there's lots of geoactivity. And a good example of that is Iceland. Iceland, not the shop, the country. The country of Iceland has got lots of volcanic activity going on. There are hot springs, there's all sorts of stuff just under the surface. It's very, very warm rocks, and we can use it, and they do use it there quite often. But for us, not so much. We also use biofuels. Now, biofuels are using plants or other living matter which you can use in a very simple way. You can burn trees, for example. Again, that's renewable, it's clean, it's simple technology, it's fairly reliable, but you need limited suitable sites. You need a large area, and you get a low energy yield. So think about burning trees. You can do it. The trees have got lots of water in them, so you need to ideally dry out the trees, which takes a bit of time. It can be done, but you need vast forests. Again, there's issues, it's not perfect. To get a lot of energy, which is what we need lots of forest growing, lots of time to grow those trees. Yeah, it's not as easy as it would appear to be. So what's the deal with nuclear then? Not mentioning it yet. Nuclear power stations. Possibly. There's some hope here. One thing about nuclear is it is reliable. It is absolutely reliable. It's clean. It does not give off any CO2, doesn't give off any greenhouse gases. It can meet the energy demands that we have. So, we've already got nuclear power stations in Scotland, and they work perfectly well. The fuel will run out eventually because they use refined uranium, which we dig it out of the ground, and of course, if you dig it out of the ground, it's no longer in the ground, and once you've used it, it's gone. Eventually, that will run out, but not for a while. Now, one of the problems with nuclear power stations is the waste. There is extremely dangerous waste. We need to solve this issue. What do we do with it? We can't just throw it in the bin. We can't toss it in the oceans. We can't just leave it lying about. It would be deadly. So there's a nuclear fear, and people don't like nuclear power because of this. What if it all goes wrong? Now, we've all heard about the big disasters that have happened in the world. There's been a few. One of the most recent, Fukushima in Japan, where a tsunami came and it caused a disaster. Then there was Chernobyl in Russia in 1986, I think, maybe. Big deal. And there's been a few others. If it all goes wrong, it can be quite disastrous. So that's one of the big issues with nuclear power. So none of them seem to be ideal on their own. So maybe we need to look at using different combinations of different types of ways of generating electricity. Another one of the things that we need to consider is efficiency, because power stations don't generate electricity perfectly. They waste energy. So let's have a look at some efficiency. When energy is converted from one type to another, the energy isn't always converted efficiently. This means some energy is converted into forms that are less useful, such as sound or possibly heat. Efficiency is something calculated to be useful energy output divided by total energy output. Or you could do it as a percentage. Percentage efficiency is useful energy output divided by total energy input times 100. Now, efficiency is always less than 100% in a real situation. Never will it be 100%. Now, typically, an efficiency of a power station will be for about 33% for coal and oil-fired plants, up to maybe 50% for combined cycle gas-fired plants. This means that up to 67% of the energy used is simply wasted, usually as heat to the environment. That's very, very inefficient. So, hope you've enjoyed that. Let's help explain a few things, and catch you next time.